Burns are one of the 5 leading causes of child injury mortality in South Africa. For most parents, our children are our reason for living. So when they're injured in such a tragic way, our worlds fall apart. Who do we turn to? Where do we go?
It's a mother's worst nightmare, bath time after an ordinary day. She turned her back for a split second and then she heard the screams from the bedroom. She knew right then that something had gone horribly wrong.
Ngoba 6 ntambama ngoba wayesegezile yena ese-right sihleli e-dining room amanzi aplawe ngale kamereni ayesanda kufakwa kuphela ayesishisa ke ayingakabili wona
ngase ngamuzwa useyakhala ngamcheck ngamfica phansi ebhayideni ngamkhipha
sengimbona ephakathi ebhayideni ngaphatheka kabi kakhulu ngiyambona ushile.
Not only was her baby Nontubeko badly injured, but Nokuthula is without medical aid.
And that's the dilemma faced by millions of South Africans that don't have access to private hospitals. Their only option is to turn to public health care. And in a rural area like this one in the heart of KwaZulu-Natal, that brings them to Ngwelezana Hospital.
Ngwelezana Tertiary Hospital is located close to Empangeni and services around 2.4 million people of the Umhlatuze municipality. It is the only hospital to offer specialist treatment in the area. They receive many burn victims, especially now that it's winter in South Africa, as hospital CEO Dr. Bright Madlala explains.
We have a lot of serious burns in the region, purely because we are a rural region. A lot of our communities are still dependent on wood and using candles to light up their houses. And we have a lot of families that use the small round dishes where they take baths. And this is where most of the young children get burned. We will admit from your 2nd-degree burns to your 3rd-degree burns.
This is where baby Nontubeko was rushed to after she was burned. She was admitted to the Old Burns Unit, where she was seen to by Dr. Henk Kruger.
She was quite badly burnt. She had burnt about 14% of her body on her back and on her bums and on her sides, really badly actually. Her pain was significant and she was quite ill.
The biggest challenge to treating Nontubeko and other pediatric burns victims was the dilapidated state of the old unit.
Our Old Burns Unit was not a very conducive unit. One, we had adults and children sharing common areas like your washing bays and your dressing bays. Secondly, we didn't have a place where we could isolate these kids.
Our motto at this point is do what you can with what you have, but it had some massive holes. Most notably, the old dressing room we weren't able to keep kids warm there. We weren't able to appropriately wash and drain them, and there was a big issue with infection control around here.
2 years ago, the Carte Blanche Making a Difference Trust stepped in to assist. Since its inception in 2008, the trust has raised over 130 million rand for projects that have significantly reduced infant mortality. When the trust learned of the challenges facing pediatric burn patients at Ngwelezana, something had to be done, as patron of the trust, Carolina Andropoulos, explains.
We went to visit Ngwelezana and found the most abject conditions. We were hoping to get away with refreshing the existing environment, equipping, etc. But conditions are so squalid that it was best to start afresh.
Due to its outdated design, renovating the existing burns ward was not possible. Another plan was needed.
We walked past the ophthalmology unit and said, now this would be a place for the children. It's open, it's light, it's bright, and it's standalone. And it's a big thing for the trust to create dedicated pediatric environments.
The result was the 2nd largest build in the trust's history, a dedicated pediatric burns unit built thanks to a capital donation of 10.3 million rand from South 32's Hillside Aluminium.
Hillside operates in the same area as the Ngwelezana Hospital. We felt for us it's very important that we actually do an investment in this local community so that we can have access to proper healthcare facility. We hope that other companies as well can actually see the good work that South 32 is doing to ensure that if we all come together in this type of partnership, we can change the state of medical care in South Africa.
A project of this scale required more than South 32's principal donation. Additional support from close to 40 material, medical equipment, and professional skill set donors was needed to build the new unit.
We contribute the healthcare planning, and our partners, HDG, they do the hospital design, and other partners come in, and it's a consortium of people who contribute towards this project.
We had the opportunity to sponsor equipment to the value of about 1.2 million to the unit. So we know now there's children in this community that will get better healthcare because of what's happened here.
One of the aims of the project was to build a modern, state-of-the-art facility, as project architect Rudolf Kutsia from Hospital Design Group explains.
In terms of the planning, so every aspect of a burns unit has been addressed in a very small space. So we took out the walls, started to divide the different areas that is required in this building, clinical functions, and then as well as the nursing staff. They have to have a full view over each and every bed, so the facility really caters for all the needs.
Finally, 2 years after the project was first started, the Ngwelezana Paediatric Burns Unit officially opened last month. After the cutting of the ribbon, stakeholders, partners, as well as members of the media were given a tour of the new facility.
This unit just stands out on its own compared to the rest of the hospital. You can see it's a state-of-the-art, world-class infrastructure.
It looks very nice. The colors are good, they are bright. They give, a sense of well-being, which is very good in terms of people who have had injury.
It's been a week since the new Paediatric Burns Unit was officially opened, and we've returned to see how it runs now that it's fully operational. It's early morning, and the day begins with a roll call for the nurses on duty. One of those is Sinentlantla Phiri, who along with all her colleagues is thrilled to be working in the new unit.
You know, when I came in on Sunday morning, I went around the whole ward. I was like, wow, it's equivalent to the private hospital I've seen before. It's just a very wonderful place to work in.
How much of an improvement then would you say is it from the old unit to this one?
I mean, you can't compare.
Chalk and cheese.
Chalk and cheese. I mean, it's uncomparable. If you speak to the nurses, their minds are blown. It's shifted the world where we work. We now work in a first world hospital within a third world setting. We are able to provide care in an environment that contributes to the care itself. People work in a ward like that want to deliver excellent care.
The unit has 22 beds and provides a range of care options, from general patients to high care to isolated ICU rooms.
The new unit almost creates a conveyor belt of how children are managed. The biggest benefit that the unit will have is that the volume of children we are able to treat will be much higher. We can see kiddies, treat them better and get them out sooner, so we can treat more children.
For each and every patient at bedside, there is equipment to monitor. That on its own, it's going to limit the number of mortality rates in the hospital.
It's a way more child-friendly environment. In the past, kids didn't see daylight for up to 3 months. It's a bright, warm environment that makes them feel happy.
It also features specialized wet and dry treatment rooms, which is crucial to prevent infection.
The dry and the wet room, firstly, will create a faster flow, so we're able to treat 2 patients at once. The old machine we had was broken, completely stuffed. We now actually are able to use warm water to wash children, which is extremely important. The dry treatment room has now been set up completely exclusively for dry dressings. It brings down our sepsis rate significantly. So they've changed the way that we are able to do dressings, which then changes the way that the unit functions, because much of burns is around the dressings of this.
Baby Nontobeko has also enjoyed the benefit of the unit. She and all the children of the old ward were transferred once it became fully operational.
Right kakhulu. Ya inhle ayifana lelezansi. Idonda zakhe ngibona ziright, phuze yaphona.
When she turned the corner, she became a new kid. The nicest part of the job is seeing someone you've operated on get significantly better. It's the bounce back from a burn. You're one of the best things in the world to see, man.
After weeks of treatment, she was finally allowed to return home. Due to the efforts of doctors and nurses at Ngwelezana Hospital, little Nontobeko is expected to make a full recovery, thanks in no small measure to the care she received at the new Paediatric Burns Unit. To be seriously burnt is a truly traumatic event. Now that the Carte Blanche Making a Difference Trust has handed the unit over to the KwaZulu-Natal Department of Health, thousands of children have access to one of the best pediatric burns units in the country that the Trust hopes will save and improve the lives of countless children now and into the future.